Good morning, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to look over the Zhiyun Crane M2. I guess that's how you pronounce their name. I've been looking for a gimbal to run around with on my blogs and stuff. The first gimbal I tried did not work out very well. I ended up having to send it back. Review of that in the channel. So I've been testing this one pretty good bit. The M2, the Crane M2 has a 1.5 pound capacity, so you're not going to put any big cameras on it. It's mainly designed for action cameras, smartphones, and small point and shoot cameras. So this is the box. Yay, box. You don't care about the box, you care about what's in the box. What's in the box is they do give a fairly decent case to put it in. It doesn't latch. That's something I don't like. It doesn't latch, but everything inside is nestled nice and tight, and it does its job for protecting. All right, in the box you get the gimbal. No brainer. You get a hand strap. I'm not using that, so I'm going to throw it back in the box. But I do need this out. This is a tripod adapter. There's a 1/4-20 mount on the very bottom, so the tripod threads into that and it allows it to stand up on its own. The tripod is plasticky, but I could break it if I really tried, but I don't want to. But the gimbal itself, also in the box, is a USB Type-C charging cable. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I have another camera right here for up close stuff. A phone holder with a 1/4-20 on the bottom. Phone holder that goes perfectly in line with this bolt for the gimbal. I'm going to put the phone holder away. We don't need it right now. We may not need it at all in this thing. And then you have the mounting plate. The mounting plate, as you know, mounts your camera. Okay, the mounting plate, as you expect, you use it to mount your camera to the gimbal. The mounting plate has 2 slots on it, a long slot and a short slot. The long slot's meant for your bigger and heavier cameras, like your point and shoots and stuff like that. The small slot is designed for your small cell phones and action cameras, like the Hero 7. So we're going to put it on right now. We will mount this bad boy right in there. Alright, okay. All the arms are locked right now. That's one thing I do like about it. The being able to lock this thing down allows you to throw it in your backpack, throw it in a pouch. If you use the hand strap, you can clamp a carabiner to the hand strap and clamp it to your belt. Done that with a few gimbals before in my past. To unlock them, you have a red switch right here. Sorry, you got a red switch right here. You unlock that one, and then this one right here, you twist. This will slide up and unlock the rest of the axes. Alright, now gimbal balancing. Everyone knows you have to balance out a gimbal. So let's see how long it takes me to balance out this gimbal. First, I gotta lock down the plate. Plate's locked in. Now I'm just gonna loosen this thumb screw and slide this a little bit forward. That's not good. That's, you know what? Let me spin this nut around. Yes, the GoPro will be backwards, but for the sake of this, it should not matter. Because I'm not actually using the GoPro, the Hero 7. Alright. That axis is good. Now this axis is a little heavy to that side, so we need to push it that way a little bit, push it that way a little bit, push it that way a little bit more. Ooh, there we go. A I'm going to lock that one down. And the tilt. And tilting that way. Okay, that's good. All right. Now, the I/O of the gimbal. On this side, you have a 1/4-20 to mount any other accessories you may want. You have a zoom button here. If your camera supports it, this will connect to it via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. And if your camera has a power zoom on it, you can zoom with it. On the back, you have a joystick. You have record button. Press it twice to take pictures. You have to connect your camera to the gimbal, and then you have your mode button. And on this side, you have your power button right here, and then your menu button. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on now. Hold it for a couple seconds, and it comes to life. Alright, now we are currently in pan follow mode. For those of you that may not know, pan follow is quite simple. Anything up and down, the gimbal stabilizes. When you turn the gimbal, it will use the motors to stabilize and slow the turn, but it will follow your movement. Okay. Press the mode button once. You go into locked mode. What's locked mode? Well, any axis you move it on, it will stay the same. The next, push it again, you have point of view mode. Anywhere you move, the gimbal and its motors will look that way, nice and smoothly. Alright. Push the mode button twice, goes into go mode, which is a much faster version of POV mode. You can make really quick action movements and it'll follow and smooth out your footage. From go, push it 2 more times, and you go into vortex mode, vertical mode. Basically what it does is it locks it into flashlight mode and allows you to make rotational axis shots. Everyone's seen these shots. Sometimes they get a little overused. Now, two more button clicks goes back into go, and then you just hit a button, the mode button anytime, and it goes back into pan follow. The trigger on the back, one press will enter follow mode, where it will follow whatever you do. 2 presses recenters the gimbal, and then 3 presses goes into POV mode or selfie mode or whatever you want to call it. And then 3 more presses and it spins right back around. Okay. The menu system, that tricked me up a little bit, okay? You hit the menu button once and it brings up your menu. And yeah, you use your joystick to navigate to whichever setting you want. But you have to hit over to the right to enter that setting, and then to enter into one of these settings in, you have to press over again. It'll give you a check mark. Now when you hit the menu again, you'll be in sleep mode, which means the gimbal is not doing anything. To get out of sleep mode, you press and hold the mode button and it all turns back on. You can also initiate this yourself by pressing and holding the menu button. Now it's asleep. Press and hold again. Okay. Now that that's all out of the way, well, I say now that's all that's out of the way, you can also change any of this stuff by moving the joystick up and down. I'm in pan follow mode, so I can't go to the left or right. You do that by turning. If I go into locked mode, I can go up, I can go down, left and right. And then double click the trigger to reset everything. Okay. Now that the basics are all out of the way, and I'll put you back over here. There you go. Stay put. Okay, build quality. I have not had any issues with it yet. The handle itself is made out of plastic. That does give me a little concerns. I get a little rough on things. The gimbal itself, let me turn this off before I mess up the motors. There we go. The gimbal itself is made out of metal, probably cast aluminum if I had to guess. It feels good, it feels strong. The quality of the gimbal itself is nice. You do have to have their app in order to use most of the functions work properly. If you want the gimbal to control your camera itself, you have to go into the app. You have to set it up through the app in order for the gimbal to control the camera. Is it necessary? No. You could use this completely without the app if you want to. You just can't fine-tune any of the settings, and you will not be able to use the controls for the camera, but you can do that also by hand. As far as quality of stabilization, it seems pretty good. I did take some videos. I gave this gimbal with this Hero 7 to my 8-year-old daughter, and we went to the zoo. I know that's a small sample footage size. I think I gave you about 35 seconds, 40 seconds of stabilization. I was on my A9, or not my A9, my A7 III, videoing her as she was moving around, and that's what's in the picture-in-picture box. But for her, she didn't know anything about a gimbal. I gave her 3 or 4 minute tutorial on how to hold it, how to move with it, how to use the joystick briefly, and she took off. She didn't think about making nice and smooth motions with the gimbal. She was pretty fast paced. That's what 8-year-old girls do when they're at the zoo watching animals. That's what she loves to do. So one of the big things I did notice while we were out and about was that the mode button was very easy for her to hit. Even though she had the tripod on and she was holding it here, every now and then her hands would work their way up. She'd hit the mode button and it would change mode settings. I wish there was a way to lock out the controls, but since there's not, then we have to deal with what we have. Excuse me. Other than that, she had a very easy time using this gimbal. Whenever I noticed that she was not in pan follow mode, I would ask her if she changed the settings. If she didn't change the settings, then she would immediately stop what she was doing, put it back in pan follow mode, and carry on with what she was doing. But all in all, it's a nice entry-level gimbal for what it does, for what it's meant to do. Let me phrase that. It does it very well. They advertise a 8-hour battery life, and we were at the zoo for about 4 hours, and she was constantly videoing for all of it except for about 30 minutes when we stopped to eat lunch. And at the end of the trip, we had about half a battery left. So I feel pretty confident that it's going to hit that 8-hour mark at least. So that's good to know. Do I recommend it? That's up to you. What are your needs? If you want a gimbal for bigger cameras, this is definitely not it. It will not even stabilize it. The motors will not hold it, and you may tear it up. But if you want to stabilize phone footage, GoPro footage, or if you have a very small point and shoot camera, this should do the job quite well. I have faith in that. But that's my thoughts on the Crane M2. If you found this helpful, please by all means like, comment, and subscribe. If you have ideas for other videos, by all means put those in the comment section also, and I will review those ideas and pick some. But thank you for your time. This is Dad's Point of View. Goodbye.